to be described as spineless or a squish. And I tell you what pains me the most is when they describe me as the establishment. Now, I'm the most anti-establishment speaker we've ever had.
I don't know what he's basing that on. Maybe Brent Bozell, chairman of ForAmerica, could tell us what he's basing that on. Hello, Brent.
Hey, Steve, how are you? I wish I
The
could
most
tell.
anti-established. I got to tell you, I say again.
I'm saying I can't. Is our interview over now? I have no idea.
Yeah. Well,
Think
what you wrote a great piece. I saw it, Roll Call, talking about the mandate that the Republican Party has to lead. You talk about what they ran on in November, and now they got to step up and do it. But do you have any confidence that they will?
I wish I could say I did, but no, I don't. Look, in the 38 months that John Boehner has been the Speaker of the House, the United States debt has gone up exactly $3.8 trillion. That's a mathematical reality. You can blame Barack Obama all day long for amnesty, for Obamacare, for all the other crazy spending policies, except, Steve, the Republicans are signing the check. Every single time something comes up where the Republicans have the opportunity to say, no, we're not going to fund that atrocity, John Boehner takes out his pen and he signs it up to the president for his approval. So no, John Boehner has got to stop playing this game that he's a fiscal conservative. Now when he's doing everything that Barack Obama's doing.
Yeah, and what possessed Mitch McConnell right after he won re-election to come out and say, oh, there's going to be no government shutdown? In other words, Mr. President, whatever you want.
Yeah. Why did Mitch McConnell say right after he won that the country wants Washington to govern from the center? That's not what he said when he ran for office. He said he was a conservative. And he said the country wanted conservative solutions. But this is the game they play. And this is the game that Orrin Hatch played, that Lindsey Graham played, that John McCain played, that Mitch McConnell played, that John Cornyn played, that John Corker played, which is when you run for office, you run as a conservative. When you come to Washington, the conservatives can go to hell. You're now a centrist.
Yeah, it's great. Corker now wants, I think he wants the gas tax. But anyway, let's look at Mitt Romney. I mean, do you believe he's going to run? I mean, it seems more and more likely. And what's his theme going to be? His campaign theme? I was right.
Third time's a charm. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. In the last two election cycles, you've seen a circular firing squad of conservatives, where the moderate in 2008 it was McCain, in 2012 it was Mitt Romney. Now they kind of squeezed out like a pimple. This time you may have a circular firing squad of moderates, because you're going to have Bush, you're going to have Romney, and I'm sure you're going to have Christie. And maybe more. And they're all going to be vying for the same big money that's out there. And believe me, they will have the Chamber of Commerce big money to play with. But they may just take each other out in a pretty dramatic fashion. I would say to conservatives out there, don't be at all intimidated by this, because they can have all the money in the world, but this may not get them very far.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. And one final thing. The mandate that the Republicans got that you talk about in your piece, if they don't act, if they don't govern like conservatives, then they're going to keep a bunch of the base home for the next election, which is congressional, and it's the presidency. Especially if they don't have a nominee who's staunchly conservative, and they're going to lose the same way they lost in 2012 and 2008, because the base will not be there for them, and that's the danger of them not voting like and acting like Republicans starting from right now.
In the last month of the 2014 campaign, Republicans across the country ran 35,000 television commercials pledging to defund Obamacare. The moment they came to Washington, they approved funding for another year. The Republicans ran 15,000 commercials that month, also pledging to stop illegal amnesty. So far, they have funded that. Now, amazingly, you've got Republicans such as Corker of Tennessee, Thune,
Yep.
even James Inhofe,
No,
good conservative,
no,
who are calling for a gas tax. This is unheard
no, it's
of.
insane, Brent, and they better fix it before it's too late. Hey, Brent, chairman of ForAmerica, Brent Bozell, thank you as always. Appreciate it. All right, folks, and we'll be back with the Malzberg panel. But first, the kamikaze attack on the USS Missouri. Let's take a look back on that with this American moment.
Christened on January 29, 1944, by the daughter of future President Harry S. Truman, the USS Missouri was our country's last great battleship and rapidly became the pride of the American Navy. On the 11th of April, 1945, she was attacked by a kamikaze pilot who crashed his aircraft into her starboard side, causing minor damage, which can still be seen to this day. The Missouri's commander, Captain William N. Callahan, ordered the pilot's body to be recovered so he could be buried at sea with full military honors. Serving with distinction throughout the Great War and beyond, it seemed only fitting when General of the Army Douglas MacArthur chose her as the site of the Empire of Japan's unconditional surrender. On the day of the signing, September 2nd, 1945, General MacArthur put little trust in his former adversary, so as a precaution, he ordered over 1,000 Allied combat aircraft to fill the skies over Tokyo Bay as a warning to the Japanese. Should they be planning anything but complete and unconditional surrender, retribution would be swift and complete. With her decks filled with sailors and soldiers alike, Supreme Allied Commander Douglas MacArthur began the ceremonies. He took his pen and handed it to General Jonathan Wainwright. Wainwright was touched. He had stayed on in the Philippines during the 1941 Japanese invasion, survived the Bataan Death March, and spent 4 years in a Japanese POW camp. A new long peace between Japan and America had begun. Big Mo, as she was affectionately known, permanently dropped anchor in Pearl Harbor on January 29, 1999, and opened as a museum, forever commemorating the site where America's involvement in World War II began and where it ended. For Newsmax TV, I'm Bill Curtis, and this is an American Moment.